Hi, did you click on my video because you want easy tips for how to get that perfect grade? You've got an essay coming up and you need that grade and you need to have no mistakes on your writing. Or maybe you're a writer and you're looking to improve your writing so that there's less editing later. Or are you wondering why it even matters? Why do I have to write without spelling mistakes? Well, we're going to talk about all of these things today. Hi writers, I'm Cami with Flash University, and today I'm bringing you 4 easy peasy, can do them in a matter of minutes, tips for how you can improve your writing. Whether it's an essay or a book, any kind of writing you're doing, these tips will work for you. So, have you ever seen the bad grammar memes? Or have you ever seen, let's back up. Have you ever seen a post on Facebook or Twitter and there's no punctuation, or the spelling is all out of order, or you're just like, I have no idea what you mean. I feel like I should. I feel like you were using words and I got nothing. I do not know what that means. This is why it matters. Do you want someone to understand what you're writing? Do you want somebody to understand what you're putting out there? Well, if you're commenting on something, you want them to understand what you're commenting, because obviously you think that your opinion matters enough to put it out there. So let's put it out there in a way that other people can understand. If we have major grammar or spelling mistakes, people don't understand what we're writing, right? Have you ever seen those memes that joke about bad grammar? My favorite is one that says, my hobby, or my, let's see, what does it say? My favorite hobbies are hunting, my family, and my pets. It's supposed to have commas. So it's supposed to say, hunting, my family, and my pets. Whoever made it didn't put commas in. So what it actually says is, my favorite hobby is hunting my family and my pets. And at the very bottom of the meme, it says something like, don't be a psycho, use commas. You guys, I'm a grammar Nazi at heart, really. I promise I'm feeling the love. I've made all the mistakes myself, but I find these mistakes funny and I enjoy laughing at myself when I make them. So if you've ever made these mistakes, give an amen in the comments, because I have made mistakes, and commas are tricky. I feel like commas are tricky. So let's get into the 4 tips. Ready? So tip number 1 is use your spell checker. Use the spell checker that comes automatically. If you have a Gmail account, there's a spell checker on Gmail that's fantastic. If you have Word or WordPerfect, they come with a spell checker. Use those. They're there for a reason, and they'll edit that in a matter of minutes, and they'll give you some suggestions. Now, they are not perfect. They are not the end-all be-all of grammar, and I recognize that because I've seen some of their suggestions. But so that brings me to tip number 2, and that is Grammarly. If you've ever heard of Grammarly, it is a free app that you can actually download directly to your computer, and you can turn it on or off, and it edits your entire thing instantly. I feel like with the spell checkers and grammar checkers that come automatically with the computer, they're much better at recognizing spelling errors or really, really obvious grammar errors. But they're wrong when it comes to the more nitpicky things. Grammarly, however, can edit online on your emails or anywhere you are online, or if you download it to your computer and turn it on, then it can edit anything you write in whatever Word document or WordPerfect or whatever it is that you use. It can edit the grammar instantly, and I found that Grammarly is far more accurate than the other spell checkers. When they're not accurate, it's little tweaks here and there. But for the most part, like 99% of the time, you can trust what Grammarly tells you to do. So that's an easy thing, takes seconds, and it will actually tell you on the side of the screen what your mistakes were and why it was a mistake. And if you click on the Learn More, it will teach you how to make that correction so you can look for it going forward. So tip number 3 is use a thesaurus. The two that I know of that I'm most familiar with are thesaurus.com, which is a great site. It's one that I use most frequently. And then another one called wordhippo.com. And that's another thesaurus. If you don't know how to spell the word, and if you've got the spell checker on, I don't know if you've ever done, I have done this, where I'm like, I know this word, I know how to use this word, I don't know how to spell this word. And you start getting in and you're typing the word, and even the computer doesn't know what you're trying to say. Have you ever? Let me know in the comments if this has ever happened to you, but it has happened to me where I'm like, I've respelled this word 3 times and the computer has no idea what I'm trying to say. It's time to find a new word. So if you go and you pull up the thesaurus and you type in a similar word, it'll give you all of the words related to that one. And so maybe it'll give you the word you're trying to spell. Maybe it'll give you a different one that works just as well. Make sure that you're clicking on the definition, because synonyms are very similar, but they're not perfectly the same. We use them synonymously. That means we interchange these words as if they are the same, but they're not the same. So especially if you're doing something that really requires just to be just so perfect, so like an essay, you're gonna want to make sure that that definition matches, and that's just another click. Just click definition. So tip number 3 is use a thesaurus. They're extremely helpful. I use them all the time. When I was in college, I used them for my essays. I use them when I write my books and my poetry. I use it all the time. Professionals use them all the time. It's a wonderful tool. Okay, next is, I'm back to Grammarly. Grammarly actually, when you sign up for it and download it, they actually take like notes almost of what your major mistakes are. And I believe it's weekly. They send you a report and they say, this is how many words you wrote. This is how wide your vocabulary is. You know, you have a wider vocabulary than 10% of the population, or than 50 or 70% of the population. But then they also tell you, these are your top mistakes that you've made. And sometimes it's 5 and sometimes it's 2. I don't know. It's been different for me every time. But here are your common mistakes. And here's this consistency. So if you actually take time to just not even fully read the whole thing, but look at what your common mistakes are and what they suggest to do about those mistakes, what you'll do is you will learn and learn fast. And this is actually how I learned grammar. I didn't learn grammar in school. My teachers would probably hate that, but I didn't. Whatever they were saying made no sense to me at all, which is why commas are still my nemesis. I loathe commas, which is why I'm laughing at the meme about hunting the family and the pets, right? Because I have done it. I haven't done it. But I have written things like that where I'm like, this is not exactly what I meant to say. So yeah, read through Grammarly's suggestions. It will increase your learning and decrease how long it takes you to get there. So you're going to get more and you're going to get faster if you read their regular reports. And then there will be less editing as you go, because you will be catching those mistakes. I now, in my writing, because I've had beta readers that find comma mistakes, and I've had Grammarly that catches my comma mistakes, mostly commas, I've been able to catch them myself most of the time. And I'm like, I'm typing, I'm like, I was supposed to put a comma there. karma, right? And so it's actually a lot faster for me now that I learned what my common mistakes are and I'm looking out for them. So yeah, read up on the reports that they send you. They're extremely helpful. And then, pro tip number 5. I told you 4 tips. Surprise! Keep learning. Nobody is perfect. Actually, you want to know a secret? It's not really a secret. It's widely known. If you are familiar with Brandon Sanderson at all, he is a best-selling author in fantasy. And he's a phenomenal author. He's a New York Times bestseller, fantastic. He cannot spell to save his life. And he teaches a class on on storytelling, and he writes on the whiteboard, and eventually he's like, all right, you know what that means, and he scribbles the rest of the word. He can't spell very well. So it's not the end of the world if you're not perfect. Writing a story, telling a story, writing an essay, it's about communication. It's about sharing something at the end of the day. And so all you can hope to do is get one step better than you were before. And so with me, I am so much better than when I was in high school. I got so frustrated at my friend who I love. And I'm going to send her this video so she knows who I'm talking about. I spent hours on my English essays. Hours. And she would forget about the assignment, and she would be right by the door going like this 5 minutes before class starts. Woo, done. And she would get an A, and I would get a solid C. And I'm like, no, drat. And I was so frustrated because there was something about grammar I just wasn't getting, right? But as I took these steps and I really started to look at what my common mistakes were and be conscious of them, thinking about them as I was writing and looking for them, I caught myself and my writing improved drastically. So the real goal is to be one step better tomorrow than you are today, and to be one step better today than you were yesterday. And that's all we can all hope as writers. So I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please click like and subscribe. I give weekly advice for writers. And if you subscribe and ring that bell, then YouTube will let you know when I upload a new video, and you'll be the first to see. Thanks. Have a nice day.